Okay, so someone asked me a homework problem to do one similar to a homework problem that they just needed clarity on. And I actually put two of the homework problems together. They asked for two different homework problems, but I thought that we can do it all on this graph, the information that they asked for. So let's assume, let's call that our graph F. And we need to analyze this graph in different ways. The first thing we're going to do, we need to figure out what f of -3 is. Well, the thing to remember is the -3, remember that represents our input. So this is asking us, when we input -3, what's going to be our output, or what's going to be our y value? Because remember, y equals f of x. All right, so looking on the graph at -3, our y value right here is going to be 1. Okay, and we can, if it's not given, you can assume that the intervals go by 1 unit. Okay, so when we plug in -3, we get out 1. 0, when we plug in, when we go to 0 on the x value in the x-axis, we get out -1. So f of 0 is -1, and f of 4, when you plug that in, you actually get out 0. Now, if they ask you for a value, so in your homework, if there's a value where it's not clear and specific what the output is, you can approximate. That's okay if you approximate that value. But for the most part, the value should be clear for you to determine definitely where it's going to. Okay, so that's how you do that part. Now, in terms of looking at whether our function is increasing or decreasing, that's a little different. And okay, and so what we're going to do, something to look at, is we're going to remember, you read a graph from left to right. And so starting from the left, and also remember this graph, remember that means it's all the way our x value in terms of our x values, because remember when we talk about increasing, decreasing, or constant, we're talking about our x values. So starting this, remember this, our x values go all the way from -infinity to +infinity, because that graph goes on forever. And what I like to think about in terms of determining where it's increasing or decreasing is, if I was driving a car along this trajectory of our function, then when I'm going down on the path, I'm decreasing. When I'm going up, I'm increasing. If I'm just going straight across, I'm staying constant. Okay, so looking at this, let's look. So from our x value, so for off in -infinity, all the way, so we're decreasing, we're going down, we're decreasing, decreasing, and then here we stop, and we're done decreasing on that interval. And so that would mean we're decreasing so far, and it could be in more than one place, but we're just going to go in order. So it's decreasing from -infinity to 0, because remember we're talking about our x values. So from -infinity to 0, I'm sorry, we are decreasing. Then from 0 all the way, we're going up, 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 all the way to 3, we are increasing. Very good. So that is from 0 to 3. And then from 3 all the way to -infinity, we're back decreasing. So this would be union from 3, I'm sorry, union 3 to, oh, and actually, yes, that's the increasing one. So we are decreasing from 3 to infinity. And constant in this case is non-applicable. Okay, so hopefully this makes more sense. And again, if you have any more questions or comments, you can email me.